47,000. That is the number of babies that died in the United States in 2015 from SIDS. You may be wondering, what is SIDS? SIDS is sudden infant death syndrome. Today I will be talking about what sudden infant death syndrome is, what causes SIDS, and ways to prevent SIDS. What exactly is sudden infant death syndrome? Sudden infant death syndrome is an unexplainable death of a healthy child below the age of 1. A death is usually ruled as SIDS after an autopsy, a police investigation, and a history has been completed and there's still no definitive reason for death. It is also referred to as crib death due to many of the deaths from SIDS being of babies sleeping in their own beds. It is the leading cause of death for babies between 1 month old and 1 year old. Even though there's no exact cause for SIDS, there's many environmental factors, physical factors, and maternal factors that are associated with sudden infant death syndrome. Some physical factors for SIDS is low birth rate, respiratory infections, and brain defects. If a baby is born premature or just has a low birth weight, then this can be a cause of SIDS. Being born premature or a part of a multiple birth puts the baby at higher risk for SIDS because their brains can be underdeveloped, which means their automatic processes such as heart rate and breathing may not be fully functioning. Brain defects is also a cause of SIDS. A brainstem abnormality that influences the balance of the neurotransmitter serotonin can also be a cause of SIDS. Serotonin influences breathing, arousal from sleep, and body temperature. There was a study done on babies that died from SIDS and babies that died from other causes, and in this study it showed that the serotonin level was almost doubled. Respiratory infections may also be a cause of SIDS. Many babies that died of sudden infant death syndrome had previously suffered from some form of respiratory infection, such as a cold, that could have caused the problems with their respirations. Baby's sleep environment can also be a major contributing factor. Babies that sleep on their stomach are 5 times more likely to die of SIDS due to their strength not being elevated enough where they can pick up their head and turn it. Sleeping on soft surfaces can also make babies die of SIDS. So babies should not have any soft blankets in their crib, no toys, no pillows. Co-sleeping can also be a cause of sudden infant death syndrome because the mother or the father may roll over and suffocate the baby without even knowing it. Mother's habits before and after birth is also a major contributing factor. If the mother smokes while she's pregnant, then this can cause the baby to have a low birth weight, resulting in underdeveloped brains and underdeveloped lungs. Secondhand smoke can also cause the baby to suffer of SIDS. Any mothers that did drugs or drank alcohol while pregnant also have a higher risk of babies suffering from SIDS. It's also been proven that any mother that had their baby before the age of 20 is also at higher risk for babies dying of SIDS. There are also other factors that contribute to sudden infant death syndrome. Gender. Baby boys are at much higher risk than baby girls of dying of SIDS. Family history. Any baby that's had siblings that previously died of SIDS is also at higher risk of dying themselves from sudden infant death syndrome. And race. There's no known reason as to why babies of other races outside of white are at higher risk of dying of SIDS. Even though there are many risk factors, there's also many steps you can take in preventing SIDS. Babies should always sleep on a firm mattress or firm surface. There should be no extra toys, blankets, pillows, or bumper pads in the baby's crib that can cause the baby to suffocate. It has been proven that offering a passy to your baby during nap time can also eliminate the risk of SIDS. And vaccination, as well as breastfeeding, has also been proven to help with SIDS. And it's always a good practice to have good prenatal care as well as staying away from any drugs, alcohol, or tobacco while pregnant. We have discussed what sudden infant death syndrome is, what causes SIDS, and ways to prevent SIDS. Being a new parent and taking care of a tiny baby can always be scary, but having the information can help calm those nerves. Knowing the risk factors and how to reduce the risk of SIDS is the first step to preventing sudden infant death syndrome.